Nivedita, welcome you all to the 996th meeting of the legendary, the iconic Toastmaster Club of New Delhi. So come on everyone, let's together give a huge round of applause for the Toastmaster Club of New Delhi. At Toastmaster, we provide you with the supportive and learning environment in which members develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So I thought let's start the meeting with some peppy questions. So Toastmaster Varun Garg, I have a question for you that would you rather, am I audible to you?
Yes, you are.
So my question to you is, would you rather never use social media or never watch a TV show or a movie?
Wow, that's possibly the toughest question that someone has asked me. For a person born in 1996, I think we have been lucky enough to witness the boom of both social media and the online platforms serving content regularly. I think for me it can be not being on social media because I have the newspaper. I can get the news from over there. But yeah, not watching movies and shows is definitely a form of art that I would like to continue with and do it for a long, long time. So definitely drop social media and watch movies and shows forever. But hopefully, I'm not in such a precarious situation. Thank you so much for asking that question, Nivedita.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Varun. So I was expecting the you would choose social media because nowadays we are so addicted to that. So thank you for the answer. And next, I would like to ask the question from Toastmaster Rohan Grover. Can you just unmute yourself? My question to you is that would you rather have a horrible short-term memory or a horrible long-term memory?
Okay, I've never thought of that. But yeah, thank you for giving such a question. So I would rather have a horrible short-term memory. As in, if it is horrible and it's disastrous, I would love to, I would love to forget about it in a short period of time and not think about it every day for a long term. So yeah, for me, I guess it's a difficult question, but then a short-term memory for that matter.
Thank you so much and well said. So now let's move towards the meeting. So thank you so much all the guests for joining us, and for your benefit, let me state the ground rules of the meeting. I request you all, please very first switch on your cameras. I cannot see any of the guests. So guest Chirag, I request you, guest Daksh, thank you so much. Guest Rahul, I request you, please switch on your camera and let's make this meeting interactive. At Toastmaster, we try to use English language as the medium of conversation. And if you use any other language, please provide the translation of the same. We refrain the usage of sex, religion, and politics. Don't prompt the speaker by creating any disturbance. Always use a show of hand button to raise your hand. And last but not the least, I request everyone to please unmute yourself only when asked. With this, I would hand over the stage to our president, Toastmaster Anmol Arora. I request you, please give a huge round of applause for him.
Okay, thank you, Nivedita, for that really beautiful and inspiring Sergeant at Arms address. Sergeant at Arms address is one such part of a meeting which actually gets the ball rolling, which actually gets you going. It puts that momentum inside of you. You talk and you allow yourselves to express yourselves, and that I think is the best part of Toastmasters. So yeah, beginning our 996th meeting, I would just say that many of you who have embarked upon this beautiful, beautiful journey, beautiful yet difficult is the better adjective for it, beautiful yet difficult journey of Toastmasters and to become a better public speaker, be in the capacity of a guest or a member, or you have just come here to have this kind of an experience for the first and the foremost time in your life. Just say to yourself, just don't come in with preconceived notions. Oh, I'm not a good speaker. Oh, I am a really good speaker. I'm going to do this or that. Just let it be. Don't put those adjectives or those labels on yourself, be it good or bad or in the middle. just soak in the experience, be here, be present, and just dive into the process. You may get a speaking chance today as well. So be ready for it. Don't just shy away or think that people are judgmental, because people evaluate here at Toastmasters and not judge anyone. On that beautiful, beautiful note, let me take a quick introduction of the guests. And I would be asking you three simple questions. How did you get to know of Toastmasters, and what is your aspirations, your dreams? And you can talk about that. Beginning with that, I have guest Dakshesh. Yeah, Dakshesh, can you unmute yourself and tell more about yourself?
Yes, sure. First
Yeah,
of
hi
all,
Dakshesh.
good evening to everyone.
Yeah,
Anmol, Nivedita, it was
agreed.
quite a pleasant introduction. So, as you know, my name is Dakshesh Sharma. I'm currently pursuing BCom honors from SGTB Khalsa College. And on the side, I am also preparing for CA Intermediate. For now, I currently had my exams for CA Foundation in the May attempt. And as for my aspirations, I don't have much to speak about them, as I don't know, and we'll figure out on the way. So
Okay,
that's it.
as you say, that not knowing is also the best part of life sometimes. Next up, we have guest Rashmi. Rashmi, can you unmute yourself and quickly give yours a brief introduction?
Hello everyone. As you know, I'm Rashmi Gundalia. I'm working as a campaign analyst for a branding agency. One of my teachers told me about this club. So I'm excited to be a part of it and work on my communication skills.
Thank you, Rashmi, for that brief introduction. Next up, we have guest Palak. Palak, can you quickly unmute yourselves?
Hello everyone. My name is Palak and I am from Punjab, but currently I'm pursuing my BCom honors from PGDAV College of Delhi University. And as for aspirations, I'm preparing for my GMAT right now, and this is the second time that I'm joining Toastmasters as a guest. So I hope to join Toastmasters soon. And it through LinkedIn I got to know of Toastmasters. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Palak. Next up, we have guest Bhavya Mehta. Bhavya, can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
Hello everyone, I am Bhavya Mehta and I am pursuing BCom honors from Indraprasth College for Women, Delhi University. And I'm just done with my CA intermediate exams this July. So I wanted a holistic development in improving my communication skills, my leadership skills. So one of my friends suggested me to join Toastmasters. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
It is a privilege to have students from the CA course, brings back a lot of memories. Next up, we have guest Rahul Ahuja. Rahul, can you quickly unmute yourselves?
Hello, I'm Rahul. I'm from Delhi and I'm currently in first year college at Hansraj. So basically the hunt to improve my public speaking skills after going through the ordeal of giving interviews at various societies and being rejected has actually landed me in this meeting. And I hope to improve my speaking skills and maybe get into these societies in the next term.
And how did you get to know of us?
Well,
Any?
I got to know it through LinkedIn.
Oh, thank you so much. Next up, we have guest Ashwarya.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
hi Ashwarya.
hi Anmol, hi Nivedita, and hi Jogmaster. Actually, I just enrolled in an MBA college in Department of Financial Studies, New Delhi. So, at my college, we're planning to start a Toastmasters club. Me and some of my batchmates just joined as a guest today to have a to know how it works and what it feels like to be a part of Toastmasters.
Okay, thank you, Ashwarya. Next up, we have guest Dishant Pasi. Hi, Dishant.
Hey Anmol, hi. I'm so
Hi.
sorry. I'm connected through my office monitor, hence I can't really show
Yeah.
you my
Okay.
existence. So I got to know about Toastmasters. I was a Toastmaster 6-7 years back. I joined for like a year for to a baby club of this club, Central Delhi Toastmasters. So I've seen TMND celebrating 500 meetings. I've attended Keshav. I've seen legends, TMND legends like Keshav and the before legacy of TMND. So I'm planning to join back again, and maybe I'm in the right club to join.
Yeah, you are in the right club indeed. And last but not the least, can we have guest Yashvi? Yashvi Chaurasia.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're perfectly audible, Rasmi.
Okay. Yeah, I'm having some bandwidth issues, so I'm not going to turn on my camera.
Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am Yashvi, and yeah, to work on my anxiety, I joined Toastmasters Club 2 years back, and since then it had been a beautiful journey. Currently, I am in the Toastmasters Club NMIMS Mumbai, and yeah, this TMND. I think this is the first club that I visited when I was exploring Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. So yeah, this is also something that uh, probably the first step I'd say. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
It's a privilege for us to get to know of Toastmasters through Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. Next up, we have Toastmaster guest Anjali Gupta. Anjali, can you unmute yourselves and quickly tell something about yourselves?
Sir, I'm Anjali Gupta and currently I'm pursuing my management from Department of Financial Studies, University of Delhi.
Yeah.
And I came to know about Toastmasters through my friends.
Oh, okay.
My
That
friends
was.
informed me about this.
Thank you, Anjali. Hope you have a great experience. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we give our introductory thoughts. We take an introduction from the guests as well. These are unprecedented times, the online times, as I fondly call them. But still, those who adjust and those who make themselves comfortable with such times are going to be remembered as the legends in the future, hopefully. Without further ado, I would next slip on to the TMOD session. TMOD is the one who is the host of the meeting, like the ones you see as, for example, if you can consider a Manish Paul doing an award show, or maybe a Shahrukh or a Saif doing it in a film fair. Somewhat similar to that, he gets the hold of the meeting, introduces the theme, and for that we have our very, very special member, the humorous and the very funny, the always charming, and he's so super funny that you cannot get rid of him without telling him, man, my stomach is paining. Stop making me laugh. He's always funny, always joking around. Our fondest member, our very favorite, Toastmaster Swadhin Gogoi, with his theme of sports. Over to you, Swadhin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amol. It is a calm and pleasant evening in Delhi. What a beautiful time to be alive. I hope you all are doing good. I hope you all are healthy. And most importantly, I hope you all are happy. Aren't you guys? I can see a few smiles, but lovely people of TND, I wanted a all smiling face. Where is the smile? Everyone go ahead and bring a beautiful smile out. Great, lovely. So today's theme says sports, a term we are all familiar with. Sports that we all adore and find exciting. Our VP Relations, Toastmaster Tushar, was very kind enough to find a very apt acronym for the word sports. S for social skills, P for physical fitness, O for obedience, R for resourcefulness, T for teamwork, and S for stress tolerance. These are only a few of the many things that sports can teach us in life. However, we usually do not think of these benefits when we go to start playing a sport, or maybe as when we did as a kid, right? For me, sports was just fun and exciting time to go and play with my friends in the evening. I would wait for the end of the class bell to ring at 2:45, and I would hurry home in my bicycle. I threw my bag into the corner, changed quickly, grabbed the bike to it, and ran into the field as soon as I saw my mother busy with some other work. We used to play cricket, we used to play football, we used to play pitto, all sorts of sports. You name it, we played it. After sunset, I used to hear my mother's voice shouting, "Where are you?" Oftentimes I wished It was actually me daydreaming because I love my mother. But often it was not the case. It was actually my mother in front of me, 10 meters ahead of me, with a big stick in her hand. And she used to grab me by my hair and used to drag me home. And she used to teach me. She tried a lot to teach, her perspective about the game. That पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो बनोगे नवाब, खेलोगे कूदोगे तो होंगे खराब. The rough translation is that if you study well, you'll go ahead in life. You'll do well. On the other hand, if you play sports, maybe you'll not do that good. We'll go ahead and talk more on this topic of sports. However, before that, I would like to introduce the structure of the meeting for the benefit of the guests. The meeting is divided into three parts. The first part is the prepared speech section, where a speaker has a time of 7 days to prepare his speech, and he or she will present it today. And the second and the most fun part is the table topic section. It is an impromptu speaking section where the members as well as the guests can participate and they can sharpen their impromptu speaking skills. And the third and the most important section of the meeting is the general evaluation section, where everyone who spoke on the stage, the virtual podium, is evaluated by the general evaluator. Because in Toastmasters, we believe that growth is the road ahead and positive feedback is key to growth. Now, I have talked about my mother's perspective about sports, that it does not really take you that far in life. It is sad, but at the same point, unfortunately, it is true. It is the general perspective that is prevalent mostly in our society. So before we go ahead and talk about a way out of this perspective, I would like to know what sports did you guys play, or what sport did you guys used to play, or even what sports do you follow, what sports do you love. So how many cricket lovers are in the house? May I see a raise of hands? I can see Toastmaster Born Girls, that is one. Two, Nitika, that is, I'm surprised. And then, okay, I only see two hands. All right, and I have Toastmaster Rohan as well. So I would like to ask Toastmaster Rohan. Toastmaster Rohan, can you please unmute yourself? Okay, am I audible to you?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, perfect. So, Toastmaster Rohan, do you play cricket or do you watch cricket or both?
I used to play cricket and I used to watch cricket, but I am a fan of cricket. I don't watch it anymore, but I do play it.
Okay, I'm very sad, to hear that you do not watch or play cricket anymore. But anyway, so who is your favorite cricketer?
I guess my favorite cricket player is Dhoni, MS Dhoni, because not only he is good at his sport, cricket, but he also has his leadership. He's very well known to the word leadership, and cricket, in fact, teaches us teaches us a lot of things in spite of sports, be it leadership or friendship for that matter. And yeah.
Okay, so Toastmaster Rohan's favorite cricketer is Dhoni, as well as Dhoni is the favorite cricketer of mine. So we both can agree on that. I think we should declare Mahendra Singh Dhoni as the universal favorite cricketer of everyone. All right. So Toastmaster Rohan, you have told me that you used to play cricket as well as you used to watch cricket. So may I ask, what are the three things that you say you learned, playing cricket? What are the three things that cricket taught you about life?
So as I said earlier, it not only teaches us how to play the sport, but it teaches us leadership,
Okay, leadership,
the friendship, as I mentioned earlier,
okay,
and one more thing for that matter.
Yes, one more thing.
Um,
Okay, think hard.
I guess it would be team management, how we
Okay,
work
okay,
in a team.
okay,
So,
okay. So we have three things that Toastmaster Rohan learned from cricket. So that is the point that I wanted to make. That sports can teach you many things in life. Now, cricket is the favorite sport of India, but there are other sports as well. So let's talk about some other sports. So how many of you are football fans or play football or watch football? Okay, I see one hand that is Toastmaster Anmol and Toastmaster Barun. Okay, that is great. So I would like to ask Toastmaster Barun. Toastmaster Barun, could you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So did you used to play football or did you just watch to watch?
I used to play football. I don't play football anymore, and I love to watch football. I follow football like anything. So yeah.
Okay, okay. We should definitely get together sometime and play football.
Mm.
If I would like to ask you one question, if you were given a chance to play football for any famous club, which club would it be and why?
It has to be Manchester United because since I was 10 or 11, it's been 14, 15 years since I'm supporting the club now. And it's a funny story how I started supporting it. I switched on the TV one day and I saw that their team was winning. And I was like, wow. And 1 week later, I switched on the TV again and I saw that their team is winning again. So I thought they must be good. And hence, I wanted to be amongst the best. And I thought that, yeah, this team always wins. I want to play for this team. And I followed them. And now I think it's my second home. If it has to be anywhere. So I feel very strongly about Manchester United, and I recommend everyone to jump on the Manchester United train with me and follow and support that club whenever they get a chance to.
It was my favorite club also when I was growing up. So, did you ever think of joining professionally in football,
No,
pursuing a
no, no,
career
not at
as
all,
well?
not at all, not at all. I After a point I realized how bad I was at football, and I thought that I can't. And even I thought that nah, it's just not possible. So yeah, I just left it.
Okay. It's
It's a
okay.
recreational
So,
sport now rather than a professional sport for me. So yeah,
okay, that is also fun. We can say that is also safe. So,
absolutely.
what would you say are the three things that attracted you towards football, all that made you love football?
Three things that attracted me. Well, it's a high energy game. You have to be on it all the time. So that excited me because the players who play football on a regular basis are absolute athletes. They have to be at the peak of their fitness to do that. So it's a high energy game. Second was teamwork. Even if you have one bad player, then your team is screwed. You're not going to do well. So all the 11 players need to be at the top of the game, and the third one being the adrenaline it brings in you. So often you can see that the match is boring, but suddenly it can switch on, and you feel all that excitement of a team scoring and then it going the other way, and then ping pong, ping pong. It's an absolute joy to watch end-to-end games when it comes to football. So adrenaline, teamwork, and energy, I think these three factors are what drew me to football the most.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster Varun, for the wonderful insight into your world of football. I would say you are absolutely correct. Sports is something that brings energy in our life. Sports is something that can be being a passion in our life, a goal. It brings a lot of values. So there are many other sports as well, apart from football, apart from cricket. There are many other sports in India, which I think unfortunately are not that popular. And I would be, very surprised, and I'd be very happy if I see a lot of race dance and I take of these sports. So sprinting, that is running, is anyone familiar with this sport? Okay, I do not see any raise of hands, so no worries. Swimming, does anyone like swimming or javelin throw? All right, it's okay, it's okay. There are many sports, but unfortunately, we do not give much attention to all these sports. Now, We'll come to the second section of the meeting. A Toastmasters meeting is incomplete without the role players that support the meeting. They are the pillars of the meeting. Now, I would like to introduce the role player of the meetings. We'll continue this talk on the sports as well. First, we have the joke master for today. The joke master for today is Toastmaster Astha Kataria. He's going to tickle our funny bones. Toastmaster Astha, this stage is yours.
A day without laughter is a day wasted. This is a very famous and popular quote by Charlie Chaplin. And with this note, I will introduce myself. A very good evening to one and all present here. I'm Astha Kataria and I'll be the joke master of the day. Today, we're going to have this little session in a very different manner. Earlier, there's someone coming over, narrating a story of their own, and then, making you all laugh. But today, we're going to have it the other way around. Today, the theme will be wrong answers only. I'll be asking you questions, funny riddles, and I expect wrong, wacky answers. Don't worry, correct answers will work for us as well. We are in a formal setup, so I would appreciate that we respect that little thing. So I'll be starting asking you questions. If we do not have people who are not, if people do not respond to me, we would go alphabetically. Okay, we'll be picking people alphabetically. Yash, could you please help me with that? Because I won't be able to see people here. I've shared my screen.
Yes, Astha.
All right, perfect. So here goes my first question. Try to be as wacky as you can be. So my first question is, what has to be broken before you can use it? I'll repeat the question. What has to be broken before you can use it? Any volunteers? Otherwise, we go alphabetically. Yash, can you help us?
We have Hriday.
Hriday. Yes, Hriday.
So, do I have to give the right answer or the wrong answer?
Wrong answers work better. Then I'll tell the right answer.
All right, Tanya has cheated, so she has given the right answer. I'll give the wrong answer. I believe it's heart. Heart needs to be broken before it can be used.
Well, I would say that can also be the correct answer. Though the answer here I present is egg, but heart very well works here. Fits in best. Okay, I'll move to the next question. I am tall when I am young, and I am short when I am old. What am I? Anyone?
No
Yes,
volunteers, so we can call Akansha Takral.
Akansha.
Yeah.
Wrong answers work best, Akansha. So I am tall when I am young, and I am short when I am old. Who am I? What am I?
Okay, we have something in the chat.
Like
yeah, well, Dishant has written in the chat, male ego.
Male ego.
I believe that's true. Sorry, that's not a politically correct answer, though. The answer is Canton. All right, moving on to the next question. What is full of holes but still holds water? What is full of holes but still holds water? Anyone?
We have Hriday in the chat box saying Indian roads.
You saying?
Indian roads.
Well, perfection again. Hriday is on fire today. The correct answer is a sponge. What can't talk but will reply when spoken to? What can't talk but will reply when spoken to? Anyone?
A cell phone?
Well, that also works here though. Relevant answer. The answer which I propose is an echo. My next question. The more of this there is, the less you see. What is it? The more of this there is, the less you see. What is it? Anyone? I can again see chat box getting orange. Yash,
we have Deepika.
Yeah, we have Deepika.
Deepika.
Deepika, you can unmute yourself and give the answer.
Yeah, I raised my hand for the earlier question, not this one.
Okay, okay.
I think I showed the answer by mistake. I'll take it forward. The answer is darkness. So, well, I hope you all had a good laugh. We'll remember that we need to abide by the time limits. So this was all. Keep laughing and enjoy. Bye-bye. Thank you. Handing over it back to the TMOD. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asta, for the wonderful jokes. It was hilarious. Now we have our second leadership role player, that is the timer for the day. Toastmaster, yes, is the timer for the day. Toastmaster, yes, this stage is yours.
How many of you have watched the movie In Time? Just give me a raise of hands. I guess no one. Well, let me tell you it in a small description that in time, time is your lifeline. You have a time on your wrist written, and whenever the time goes 000, you are dead. So today you're not going to die if you use much more time than you were given. Then what you will do, you will get disqualified from winning, and everyone likes winning. So I'm going to tell you a short story. I hope everyone likes maths. If not, that's not my issue. So the information you give or the amount of or how much you speak depends on audience confusion. If you speak very less, then the audience is always confused that what are you going to talk. Now, if you give a medium information, not too much, not too less, the audience confusion is very less. They understand you, they feel you. And when you give too much information, then also the audience gets very confused at what to do. Should we vote for him or should we vote for her? So that is very similar to a green card, which is like very much information, followed by yellow card, which is not less, not much, enough amount of information, and followed by the red card. That is when you're giving too much information. Now it is directly dependent on your winning. If you give the correct amount of information, that is, if you fall in a yellow card, your winning chances will rise at a very high level. And moving on, I will be using 3 color cards to help you understand the timings. For example, let me tell you the timings of table topics. I will be showing a green card when you hit the minimum qualifying time, which is 1 minute, a yellow card at half time, which is 1 minute 30 seconds, and a red card at 2 minutes. Now, for every role player, every speaker, whenever I show a red card, you will only have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech, or else after that, you won't have any chance of winning. Thank you. Back to TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster, yes, for that vivid description. Now we are all defined limits. Next, we have the grammarian for today's meeting, that is Toastmaster Anmol. Toastmaster Anmol, this stage is yours.
As a grammarian for today, first and the foremost, I'll be introducing the word for today. So, people, the word for today is buoyant. Buoyant. Now, remember those drunk Indian relatives who ruin big Indian fat marriages after having that peg of whiskey? Yes, they are buoyant, they are full of energy, they are fully happy, but yet they ruin it. So, buoyant is a positive, happy word which is used in a positive sense. Anyone, if you see, is happy in the right sense can be termed as buoyant. The synonyms for the same are vivacious, ebullient, and effervescence. Effervescent. Now, here introducing a grammar rule. Now, we all have had our fair share of struggles and sometimes our mind getting out of proportions when it comes to grammar. So, here I am introducing a simple grammatical rule for all of you, which comes from the subject verb agreement. Now, guys, consider a situation. Consider there is a jury. A jury is a collection or a group of judges who give judgment on a particular matter. When you will use jury who are on the same page, like for example, judge 1, judge 2, and judge 3 are giving the same judgment with relation to something, you will use the jury is unanimous in its decision. And why you would you use is because it has become a singular verb. And when judge 1, 2, 3 are different, they are on not the same pages, they are different with respect to their judgments, they are different units, they are not singular, they are plural. So you will use jury are divided in their decision. So the word is the same, the word is jury, but at one place you will use is when they're all on the same page, and on another when they're all segregated and not on the same page and have different points of views and are multiple and are plural, you will use are. So a simple rule of is and are. In the report, I'll give the good usage of the grammar and the bad usage of the grammar in my report time. Over to TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anmol, for that descriptive uh, speech about grammar. Toastmaster Anmol is our own Mr. Thorough. Now we have the next leadership role player for today. That is the R counter for the day. The R counter for the day is Toastmaster Shubham. Toastmaster Shubham, this stage is yours.
Thank you to TMOD. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. Few days back, I saw a video on YouTube about the mock personal interview which everyone goes through. So every time the first question is, tell me about yourself. So there were two applicants. Applicant A answer was, hello, my name is Aman Kumar. You know, I am born and brought up in Delhi. I am doing bachelor's from Delhi University. And you know, I like to play football. And second applicant B told, hello, my name is Ram, born and brought up in Delhi, pursuing BCom honors from Delhi University, and I love to explore new places, and I am food medic. Out of this, whom you think that the best applicant answer was? Of course, the best applicant answer was applicant B, because applicant A used twice you know and twice I. So today I will be counting your repeated words, and I will be listening throughout the meeting carefully, whatever the crutch sound you will be making. And at the end of the meeting, I will be sharing my report. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubham, for the crisp and brief description of your role. So far, we have talked about the experience of so far we have talked about our experience with different sports. Toastmaster Rohan has stated his experience with cricket, and Toastmaster Varun has stated his experience with football. Most importantly, they have shared what they have learned for sports. So, sports is really something that is a road with endless possibilities. Most often or not, it is not cricket. So today we are going to play a little game that should make all of you exciting. I'm going to say a name of one benefit or something that sports can teach us, or something that is related to sports. So the next person is going to say the same benefit, or same something associated with sports. The first letter of that word should be the last letter of the word that I previously said. So I'll make it simple. For example, if I say active, because sports makes us active, the next person can say a word that starts with E, because active ended with E. The next person can say endurance, because sports will endurance. So let us see how many benefits of sports we can take out in 1 minute. I will take a note of the benefit, as well as I'll take a note of the time. You can all unmute yourself and play this game along. Remember that we need to keep the chain going. So the first word I'll give you, that is stamina. You can all go ahead and keep this chain going. A word that starts with A that is related with sports. Come on, guys, think.
Awesome.
Sorry?
You said something to say with a letter A, right?
Yes, yes, that is related to sports. That
So I said awesome.
okay. Sports makes you awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Next, E.
Energy.
Okay, energy. Awesome. Next,
Agility.
again E. Affinity. Okay. Now it has become difficult. Why? Okay. Does someone have it? Why? Why? Why?
Yield good results.
Okay, yield. That is absolutely brilliant. Yield. Okay. Now D. D, guys. D is very simple.
Which letter?
D.
D.
Yes. So far, Nitika is doing excellent. She has answered the most difficult one.
Z.
D. D can be determined. Okay. Again, D.
Demonstration of excellence.
Okay.
Dynamic.
Demonstration. Okay. Dynamic. Yes, that is fantastic. Okay. We have 10 more seconds. T. What is T?
Encouragement.
Encouragement. T.
Caring.
Okay. Caring. Yes. Someone who plays sports is caring about his teammates. Fantastic. So in 1 minute, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 benefits of sports. So can you just imagine if you can get 6 benefits of sports in under 1 minute? What are the actual benefits of sports that can make us think that we can achieve from sports? So really, sports is a avenue which unless possible. If that is the point that I wanted to make across. Now let's go ahead and go to the first section of today's meeting. That is the prepared speech section. We have 2 prepared speakers today. The first speaker is Toastmaster Raghav Mittal. Before calling on Toastmaster Raghav Mittal, I would like to call his evaluator, that is Toastmaster Sukhmani, to state the speech of the case. Toastmaster Sukhmani, the stage is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Today, Toastmaster Raghav is delivering his Level 1 Project 2. The purpose of this project is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The speaker is presenting his first speech today, and timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sukhmani. The title of Toastmaster Raghav's speech is Content is King. Toastmaster Raghav Mittal, Content is King. Content is King. Toastmaster Raghav Mittal. This stage is yours.
So, if I ask you all that how long has it been since you have seen a Shah Rukh Khan or a Ranbir Kapoor or a Ranbir Singh movie, you would say, Raghav, quite a while because of the lockdown cinemas are shut, right? But if I ask you that how long has it been since you've seen a Manoj Bajpayee or a Pankaj Tripathi movie, you say, Raghav, just a few days ago because it's lockdown and because of the platforms. And why is that? Because ultimately content is king. My name is Raghav Mittal and thank you all for being here to listen to my speech. Now, I'm sure that you all would agree with me that while growing up, the biggest influencers in our lives were the movies and movie stars. At least for me, they have deeply influenced me when I was growing up. And I'll give you a short personal example that when somebody would mention an alien to me randomly, so a picture, an image would come in front of me and I would picture a short, fat, blue-colored, light emitting from the head alien who couldn't even run. So when I asked Bollywood for an alien, they gave me Jadoo. And when I asked for a courtroom drama, they gave me a lawyer screaming at the judge just for the dates. But if you do that here, you're out of the court. And when I asked for a college romance, they gave me a senior guy harassing his junior, and but then ended up marrying her. So if you all think that all this is true, and if you believe that if you do this, you'll impress a girl, you're highly mistaken, but you're not at fault, because this is how we've been educated by our beloved Bollywood. Now, which should be changed. Now, you all know that this should not act as a basis. This should not act as a basis to shape our thoughts and thought process, but it does, which should change. We are a developing nation for a reason. If you look at the developed nations, if you look at their movies, they talk about space and NASA through Apollo 13. They talk about the judicial system and military via a few good men. They talk about business through Jobs and Moneyball, right? So all this has to change. If you observe their movies, they first explore their nation, their people. They first then secondly bring out a picture, and then they educate their audience, and then their audience generates that mindset, which ultimately develops the nation. Which ultimately develops the nation. So yeah, where was I? Yeah. So you may have heard of this phrase that your personality is basically 50% of what the last character or the movie that you've seen, right? And you all would agree with me that I'll just tell you my personal experience, that when I was in school and I watched Dhan 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 Goal, I started playing football. But then when I watched Chak De India, I started playing hockey. I'm sure some kind of similar incidents would have happened with you when you've been deeply influenced by the movie or the movie star that you have seen, right? And sometimes when you are exposed to some bad characters or characters which are not good for the society, you subconsciously you change into them, which is not right. But enough about the problems, and I'll tell you that what we should be grateful for. I know there aren't a lot of upsides, but if there's one upside to the COVID-19, it is the content-driven shows and movies that we've been exposed to for the last 1 year through the OTT platforms like Hotstar and Amazon Prime and Netflix. So with these kind of platforms, not just me and you, because we were watching these earlier, but half of India, about half of a billion people, half of a billion Indians have seen these shows like Sacred Games or TVF Pictures or 1992's Harshad Mehta Story. And can you imagine the kind of intellect that has increased in just a span of a week? People have started investing in stocks because of that. People understand how strategies have worked because of a show which talks about the power of throne in a small town in UP, which is Mirzapur. They understand how these things work, and their mindset have developed. And I'm sure that in a couple of years, our thought process will change, and this will develop our nation. It's not the only reason, I know that's not the only reason to develop a nation, but you all would agree that a positive mindset is very important for a nation to grow. Now, you've seen people like Ayushmann Khurrana and Rajkumar Rao in doing movies like Article 15 and Umirta, right? They have been doing this for a while because these were movies that were just a part of Bollywood, but this was not mainstream cinema. But because how the level of content that we've been exposed to, subconsciously our interests and changes for the movies are changing. And the day is not far that when the cinemas will reopen, I hope they do. They will reopen, and I do really want to watch a movie sometime soon. But when they do open, we will prefer movies, we will prefer content that talks about some real dramatic and social issues, right? So this kind of movies, I'm dead sure that when cinemas open, you will not be surprised to see a small budget, content-driven movie doing a 200 crore business and a star-studded commercial film tanking at the box office just because of its poor script. And we as an audience are going to commercialize these content-driven movies because now our taste has changed, which is amazing. You've seen these kind of actors doing these kind of movies, but the day is not far when you will see Janvi Kapoor and Ananya Pande's, these kind of people doing some content-driven movies and shooting in remote villages or showing India at a global stage. I love my cinema. I love how Indian cinema works and everything. I really like that. But if that doesn't change, I would lastly just like to say that only this will happen what Ramadir Singh in Gangs of Wasseypur said, that till the time cinema is there in India, Indians are going to remain as dumb as they are. I cannot say the word that is. So thank you so much. Swadhin, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. I was disconnected. Thank you, Toastmaster Raghav, for that beautiful, amazing speech. It has now made me realize that I should be more appreciative towards these beautiful cinemas with good content. Now we have the second speaker of the day, that is Toastmaster Nitika, our own amazing speaker. I love listening to her speech. Before calling upon Toastmaster Nitika, I would like to call upon our evaluator, that is Toastmaster Samir, to state the speech objectives.
Good evening, everyone. So Toastmasters Nitika shall be presenting a very interesting speech today. Now, her purpose is that she needs to practice certain skills which are to manage the audience or maybe a disruptive audience when she goes outside of Toastmasters and speaks there. So that is her challenge for today. And all the best, Nitika, for your speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Samir. So now, now we have Toastmaster Nitika. The title of her speech is Bachpan Ka Pyar. Bachpan Ka Pyar, Toastmaster Nitika.
Thank you so much, Swadhin. Thank you, Sameer. Well, I was going, uh, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I was going for an evening walk yesterday and I saw a bunch of kids playing and singing aloud, Bachpan ka pyar mera bhool nahi jana. I came back home and I saw my brother crooning the same song, Bachpan ka pyar mera bhool nahi jana. I got curious and I had to ask, what is the song all about? What are you singing? So my brother said, dear sis, haven't you watched this video on Instagram? I said no. So he made me watch that video on Instagram, a boy who sung this song from Chhattisgarh, and his video got viral. He gained a lot of popularity, even to an extent that Chhattisgarh CM felicitated him with a garland. Well, I was amazed. A lot of kids have already started following him, and now I feel that parents will start making their kids do so, capture their videos, putting it on social media, and urging people to make it viral because that's the message it is spreading. Then I contemplated more on the same, and I realized that every time you switch on the TV, all you see Indian Idol kids, Indian Idol adults, super dancer, India's best dramebaz, and whatnot. These are the kind
Yeah,
of.
Nitika, hi. I had a question. I have my maths exam also going along right side. So what is the formula for a plus b whole cube? Can you tell me?
Anmol, we have a question round towards the end of the speech. That time you can ask your questions.
Okay.
Thank you. So yeah, I was telling that every time you switch on your TV, all you see what shows like this, singing and dancing. So I see such things as a conspiracy. This is a sheer conspiracy against my country, against my future generation. Because these, well, I see it as a conspiracy against my country, a conspiracy against the future generation. Because all you see such type of content, such type of content every time on social media. And who is involved in this? Who is filling this fill in our mind? Who is compelling us to watch the content like this? It is nothing but your mainstream media and your social media. For their own benefit, they are getting such things, making them viral so that you spend the time on these applications so that they can make profit out of it.
Nitika, I have a question. Is it your
Yes.
name Nitika or Nikita?
Swadhin, thank you for your contribution, but you can ask such questions later. Yeah. So all I was saying that who is filling this filth in our mind every time? These are your social media and your mainstream media. Such content travels much faster than the genuine news. And that's the problem. That is how our future generation is being spoiled. I would like to throw some names in front of you and want to see whether you know them or not. First, Martina Hingis, Tiger Woods, Michelle V, Mate Stepnick, Nachiketa, Dhruv, Khudiram Bose. These are the people from different fields. However, these are the people who achieved a lot in their childhood. But are we aware of the same? Do we aware what kind of achievement these people have done? For example, Martina Hingis. She became tennis champion when she was 12-year old. Mate Stepnick. He wrote 6 books when he was only 13. He had a rare disease. He died after that. But before dying, he made sure to do something for the society. But we rarely know about these people because media does not make them popular. Media does not make them famous. Today, I feel that India is facing 3 challenges, though we will be soon celebrating 75th Independence Day. But still, we are facing some challenges. Challenge number 1, education. Challenge number 2, poverty. Challenge number 3, skill.
I believe
Education.
we are facing more than 3 challenges in our country.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for your contribution. Yes. So we are facing 3 challenges: education, poverty, and skill. Education. Our literacy rate was only 12% in 1947. However, today in 2021, it is 77%. Kerala at the top and Bihar at the bottom. But if you talk about the quality of education, it remains poor for the large section. According to Pratham's ASER
Alexa,
report,
play Bachpan Ka Pyar.
Here's जाने मेरी जाने मन बचपन का प्यार by Minash.
Yash, do you want to contribute something over here? Okay. Yes. So our literacy rate in 1947, it was only 12%. However, now in 2021, it was 77%. Bihar at the bottom and Kerala at the top. According to Pradham's ASER report, it indicates that the children of 8th grade, they do not even fulfill the learning requirement of 5th or 6th grade children. And if you talk about, because of the quality education, their income levels remain low and they stuck in the trap of poverty. Now skill, I'm sure that most of you must be following Olympics. You would see that India could win only 1 medal. Most of the medals are with China, Japan, and other countries. So we are lacking at skill as well. In my view, education is the only way through that India will emerge from the clutches of poverty. Today, our future generation is not only deprived from quality of education, but they are also undergoing physical and mental damage. Now, I have a message for society. My message is, if you can't inspire me, dear society, if you can't inspire me, do not at least demolish me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nitika, for shining light on some pressing issues in our country. It was really a detailed and excellent speech. A huge round of applause for both the speakers for amazing speeches today.
Can we ask the timer if both the speakers are qualified for once?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Both the speakers are qualified, Toastmaster Raghav and Toastmaster Nitika.
Can we have the polls for the same? Yeah. Just 5 more seconds.
Done.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yes, Swadhin, you can continue.
Okay, fine. So today we are talking about sports, and before the prepared speech section, we played a little game and we talked about various benefits of sports. And under 1 minute, we came with various benefits with the help of you lovely people: stamina, awesome, energy, efficiency, yield, and caring. So my point is that we have a lot of benefits from sports, and this is the right moment to take it forward. Now, today I took the theme of sports partly because I wanted to honor the hard work and dedication of the Indian athletes who are participating in the Olympics, and partly to establish a point of view that playing sports brings exponential growth for a person. It builds many tangible skills such as physical stamina, mental stamina. Also, it builds intangible social skills. It builds team spirit, cooperation, etc. When I look back, I cannot really blame my mother for having that prescription that, खेलोगे कूदोगे तो बनोगे खराब. She grew up in a different ecosystem. Times have changed now. Even I know the value of sports. We have talked about the various benefits that sports brings to our life. So let's teach our kids differently. Let's tell them that पढ़ोगे लिखोगे और खेलोगे कूदोगे तभी बनोगे नवाब. Roughly translating to, if you play as well as if you study, then you have a good life. I would like to end my TMOD session here today. I would like to hand over the stage to the table topic master, Toastmasters.
Good evening, members and guests. So I think this is the most interesting session of our meeting because it gives the opportunity to think you on the spot, and you get a random topic and you can rack your mind on the spot. And in outside world, this is the most situation we face in today's world. So I think this is the practice to that, and for the benefit of the guest, the minimum time is 1 minute and the maximum is 2 minutes on the topic whichever is given to you, and you can extend it up to 2 minutes 30 seconds. Beyond that, you will be disqualified. So I urge you all to maximize participation because it will really help you to conquer your stage fears. So let us start with the member. Anybody who would like to participate?
We have Akshay and Hide and Tanya.
Okay. Let's call Tanya. So Tanya, your topic is, what is your superpower? Over to you.
Okay. I don't have one superpower. I have so many superpowers. So I'll just tell you a few of them. So my first superpower is of being cute. I am. And a lot of people call me that. And I have the world's best smile. And a lot of people, thank you, Nitika. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, your smile. And I'm like, yes, I know. I have the superpower. When I smile, I do make people's heart melt. The second superpower which I have, and that is the superpower which every teacher should have, is that I can scare the shit out of students just by looking at them. like just by looking at them. I have this superpower, one cannot just have it, you need to develop it. So it took a lot of hard work, a lot of practice to have the superpower of just looking at someone and let them know that I am so angry at them. And because of that superpower, once I was in school, so because of this superpower of scaring the shit out of students, one day I managed to control almost 200 kids. So yes. And the third superpower which I have is that I travel from Scooty from Subhash Nagar to Vasant Kunj, which is like 20 kilometers. So I have the superpower of driving Scooty in rainy season. So I have my superpower thing like a raincoat. So I can become Jadoo, and I can travel for 40 kilometers per day. And I'm getting just some recommendations from our general evaluator, which are not so good and which are not my superpowers. So thank you so much for the recommendations, sir. And with this, I would just like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Vimika Valecha with a suggestion that if you want any of my superpower and if you want me to use them on anyone, feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Vimika, you are not audible. Just unmute yourself first.
Thank you, Tanya. One superpower which you forgot is you speak very well on table topics also. So next, any guest who would like to participate?
Yeah, I would like to. This is Yash.
Okay.
Yeah, we have guest Yashmi here. Yashmi, can you
Yashmi, your topic is why to study when most of the geniuses are school dropouts.
Oh, right, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so okay, this is the. I'll tell you a story. A few days back, I was scrolling through LinkedIn, and I got this Kunal Shah, and everyone knows who this Kunal Shah is. So yeah, he is. So I got to know that he is from NMIMS Mumbai only, and he is a dropout. And I instantly got this thinking that okay, I mean, how should I react on this? I mean, if I want to become a CEO or something, do I also need to drop out? Do I also need to drop out from this MBA program? And I realized that this you don't become big by studying, I guess. You become big by taking risks. And that is what Kunal Shah has done. And other people have also done the same. I would take another example about Albert Einstein. Yeah. Second example, I think that is better suited. I think it's Edison. He also has taken lots and lots of risks. Like if you not per se risk, but yeah, that is sort of a risk. He had done so many experiments, and then he came to this beautiful invention of steam engine and all that, and bulb and everything. So yeah, you take risk, you work hard, and then you become genius and successful, and not dropping out and not studying. That's all. Thank you so much, Vamika. Thank you for this topic.
Thank you so much, Yashvi. And now it will be for member. Who all members are interested in taking a part? If you can help me.
We have Hriday, we have Akshay. Yeah. Between Hriday and Akshay. You can choose.
Okay. Let's have Hriday. Hriday, your topic is EQ is important than IQ.
Thank you so much, Vimika, for the topic. So EQ is important than IQ. All right. First of all, we have to understand what EQ and IQ is. EQ and IQ were developed to understand the mental ability and the emotional intelligence of people, kids, and everyone who had a brain. So that was the basics of why it was developed. But most of them, people forgot that why EQ is very important in life. When we came to college, we understood that EQ is more important than IQ because people who never had any IQ, They still just read stuff, repeated stuff, and vomited on the exam sheets, and voila, they passed the exams. But the people who had higher EQ, they were very successful in making relationships, understanding people emotions, and were very efficient in understanding what kind of questions are the examiners going to give in exam, because examiners used to focus on that particular question more often in the class. And that is how, my friends, EQ will decide how far you go in your lives and how well do you do in your lives. And of course, EQ is very important if you want to have a girlfriend in life for all the boys and a boyfriend in life for all the girls. That is how you determine why EQ and why EQ is more important than IQ. So I believe, yes, that's all my points, and I rest my case. Toastmaster Vimika, over to you.
Thank you, Hriday. So any guest who would like to participate?
Yeah, Dishant Pasi is raising his hand. Palak is raising her hand. You can choose among the two.
Okay, let's have Dishant.
Yeah, Dishant, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi. Thank you.
Hello,
Yes.
Dishant.
Hey,
Your
hi.
topic, whom you would like to model, as in who is your role model or ideal whom you want to copy? Over.
Talking about role model, I think half of my Punjabi relatives fit in the spot because you don't really. So they're very mindful on how to live life like a king size. Even if they have $20, they would go spend, be loud, spend 30. So that's not very recommendable. Just a disclaimer. So one of my relatives, he's a great role model to me, and so the reason being multiple reasons to it. First of all, he's not a very social media person. He opts for detox every now and then. He has never been the person who sought external validation, and he's always been exploring his self by going to Vipassana once in 2 years. He has been a Nichiren Buddhist practitioner, and he's not a saint. That might sound like he might even get the best whiskey in the town when it comes to celebration, but the way he perceives things is very ideological. He gives everything some particular time. If you are hanging around with him, you won't find him checking on his phone. You would see his undivided attention. He won't cancel you. He won't school you for things you have not done right. He won't police you. He won't invalidate your experiences. He would listen, which is quite rare these days, that you often get invalidated, right, in so many other experiences. Even if you're going through an emotional breakdown or a mental breakdown, you're not doing fine in at some aspect of your life, it's very important to have someone who will validate your experiences. So he's that one relative to me, and he's a role model. And then he has an urge to not only travel to places to spend his salaries on traveling charity, but also he has a very good knack of equities and stock markets. He's a person to talk to when it comes to investments. A lot of my free biryani came because of the IPOs I invested in due to his advices. So from ranging on emotional stability to financial and whatnot, he's the role model to me, and he's like 4 years elder to me and got love married 3 years back. So I look up to him in so many ways. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Dishant. Very well spoken. And
Yeah, I
also,
wanted to, just a second, Vimika, I wanted to ask Nitika if we can have one more or we should be done with it because time is up now for table topics. Nitika, yeah,
Let's have one more.
let's have one. Okay.
so now it's members, right? So anybody who would like to speak?
We have a hand raise from Akshay and
Let's
rest.
have
Vimika, you can choose anyone.
let's
Yeah.
have Akshay, your topic is how do you enjoy weekends during lockdown?
Hey Vimika, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hello everyone. I'm in Dubai for last 4 months, so it's not lockdown here. everything is open here. You can go to malls, gym, pool, swimming pool, everywhere. But thing is, it's very, very hot outside. So technically you can't go. So what I have done is I call my friends over at my place and we go. We do have parties and all of that stuff, but at home only because it's too hot outside. And apart from that, there are a lot of facilities in my building only. I recently picked boxing to just to energize myself and just to just to try a new sport. And apart from that, there are a few places like all the traveler places that you guys see, this Burj Khalifa and all of that I have visited, but this is only because I was forced to, because people were texting me like it's been more than 3 months and you have not uploaded any picture of Burj Khalifa and all of that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akshay. Thank you to all the participants. Now I would like to hand over the stage to virtual stage to our evaluator, general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Omika. That was indeed a great session, a very buoyant session, if I'm using that correctly. Right. So general evaluation section. So you guys must be wondering what this is all about. And a lot of us Toastmasters think, general evaluation, time to switch off. Our job is done. We have spoken, but that's not the case. That's not the case. Let me tell you an interesting story related to sports. I bet a lot of us watch cricket. If we don't, not a problem. I'll give you the context. There's a great player called Prithvi Shaw. He's very young. He's just 21. And he's an absolutely class player. Since a very young age, he was touted and followed by the media and was supposed to be the next Sachin Tendulkar. He still has a long way to go, but yeah, that's his backstory. And now he was selected for the Australian tour, and Australian tour is very hard. Australia is one of the toughest places to tour. And he went over there and he was in such ridiculous form and his technique was so much all over the place that the commentators in the commentary box were predicting in the manner and in the way and at the time at which he was getting out. And it was exactly that which was happening. He was getting out all the time. There was a big gap between his bat and pad and he was getting bowled all the time. And here was a brilliant youngster who just lost his way in the middle. And he was dropped from the team, no surprises over there. And then he went back to India. And what did he do when he go back to India? Well, he met up a coach called Praveen Amre. He's another Indian legend. And he took some coaching classes from it. And it was shocking when I heard this because coaching classes for such an established player, he went with Praveen Amre and spent like 6, 7, 8 days with him. And he spent all the time batting, correcting his technique. And you can see the results now. He has been called to England. And from tomorrow onwards, I think you can catch him in action. He had a stellar IPL. And just because he could analyze what he did wrong, he's in England right now. He's a part of the Indian contingent going to represent and play the next 5 tests probably. So that is the power of analysis. You do a mistake, you come back, you analyze it, you take feedback, you work on it. Not just take the analysis, you just work on that. And you can be a great speaker or a great at what you want to do. So now everything will be evaluated in this session, from the speakers to the role players to the leadership role players. Everyone will be evaluated, and I have a team of excellent evaluators, my Avengers, and calling upon my first evaluator on the stage, who will be evaluating Raghav Mittal. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Sukmani, who will be evaluating Raghav Mittal. Toastmaster Sukmani, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So content is king, something we have heard all around. This goes on in social media all the time. Content is king, content is king. But what does it mean? The speaker was able to explain it beautifully. Good things first, I'll start with the commendations. First thing, structure of the speech. The speaker had a clear introduction, body, and conclusion. We were able to figure out what the content of his speech is going to be under 1 minute, which is a great thing. And for all the speakers who are planning their speeches, this is a great thing. You give your introduction, you explain what you're going to talk about, and then you talk about it. There were clear pros and cons with very strong examples as well. So that was great. The second thing, humorous. The way the speaker incorporated humor in his speech was very commendable. He had a satirical way of pointing out the flaws in Indian cinema. Or, when he said that for Alien, I got Jadoo, or for College Romance, I got Kabir Singh. So this sarcastic way of pointing out very subtle flaws, you don't directly point them out, but you have a underlying way of pointing out these flaws. So that was very smart. Third thing, he managed the audience very well. All of us saw there was some disturbance in his background, but he was able to maintain his poise, and even with the difficult background, managed it calmly, took a pause, and then continued. So that was a great. Coming to the recommendations, there are a few areas that the speaker needs to work on. The first thing is his tone and voice modulation. So if I ask you, what would the answer be? Ultimately, content is king. These are some key sentences that the speaker had to emphasize on, and he failed to do so. So these are some things that he needs to emphasize on. You need to show your energy through the voice, and especially in an online format, this thing is important. Second of all, body language. I felt that the gestures were a little repetitive, and even the gestures that the speaker was doing were a little cut off from the camera. So I could see his thumbs like this, going like this, but I could not see them properly. So just a little slight camera angle change would have solved that problem. Third of all, the content, I would like to comment on that. It was a very, very familiar topic that the speaker chose, Indian cinema. We're all aware of it, with it. But the speaker needs to say what is lesser known. Maybe give a few statistics on how many streams a movie on social commentary has gotten versus a big star film. So these are some things that the speaker could have incorporated in his speech. In conclusion, very strong structure, great use of humor, and the speaker was effectively able to manage the skill of giving an online speech. Some areas that the speaker needs to work on is making his content stronger by doing a little more research and intonation, and of course, body language. I understand that this is just the second speech, but these are some key areas that the speaker needs to start working on. Having said that, the objectives were complete and the speech was well-rounded and beautifully given. Back to the general value.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sukmani. That was indeed very well done. I wouldn't be evaluating the evaluators right now, as possibly my opinion can bias your opinion. So let's move on straight away to the next evaluator, who is Toastmaster Samir, again a veteran evaluator, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Nitika. Over to you, Toastmaster Samir.
So firstly, before evaluating Toastmaster Nitika, I would like to tell all of you what exactly this speech is all about. So whenever we go out of Toastmasters and we're giving a speech, it might not be the case that everyone is listening to us attentively, and people might disrupt us deliberately or unintentionally. And as a speaker, this is a very important skill, that how can we diffuse that interjection. So this particular speech asks the evaluator to see that how well the speaker has diffused those challenges. The objective book clearly tells me not to evaluate the speaker either on the speech, the content, or the way she spoke. I just have to talk whether she managed that 4 interjections well or not. So firstly, Anmol asked that what exactly is A plus B cube is out of the way, and she answered that questions will be held at the end. Next, Swadhin asked, is your name Nitika or Nikita? She said at the end. Third, Hriday said something related to the content, that there are 3 challenges, not 2. She said that she answered very professionally. And at the last, she asked Yash that, do you wish to contribute? So this was the summary till now for all of you. Now, I think on the positive side, Toastmaster Nitika was very, very professional. Her voice was soft. She did not feel irritated, yet it was persuasive. So as a speaker, I think she handled these these interjections in a very professional manner. Now, coming to what I believe could have been done better. So as a speaker, I think the objections raised by the members, they were very trivial. When we're speaking outside, let me tell you what happened, that the first speech I gave outside, I was invited to my college, my graduation college, as a guest speaker, as an alumni to the junior batch of my own college. And in between my speech, one of the other speakers, who was a Miss India winner, walked right in between. And if you can imagine, if such a person with such big personality and a hype around her enters, everyone started looking at her, and she just walked right in front of me. And that was the distraction which I faced. It was very difficult to get back to my content and get the attention of the audience back. So what I want to advise Nitika, that you need to educate the interjectors to come up with some genuine questions. Now, asking a plus b cube and you saying questions will be at the end seems to be a totally fake scenario which will never happen, right? You need to also, the objective book has given us 10 to 15 minutes to complete the speech, which means they are expecting that 5 minutes is the speech content, but at least the that objections will be for 5 to 7 minutes. So total you will take 10 minutes. So technically, according to the rule book, you are actually disqualified for this speech. But apart from that, I would personally want you to repeat the speech again, okay? To tell firstly the present to have 4 or 5 people which you already don't know about, okay? Let the present choose them and let them educate them to ask very intelligent questions, distract you in a way which is actually challenging and not this easy. So you actually learn this skill, that how to handle such disruptive forces. This is not for the, I'm not saying for the pathways repeat the topic, just for it to challenge yourself. That would be my advice. That's all.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sameer. That was very well done. And now I would like to invite the next evaluator, that is Toastmaster Rohan Grover, who will be evaluating all the table topic speakers. Over to you, Toastmaster Rohan Grover.
Okay, so first of all, I want to thank the table topic master, Toastmaster Vimika, for conducting such a wonderful and such an innovative table topic session today. And I'm glad that all the speakers were able to deliver their speeches beautifully. So starting off with Toastmaster Tanya, whose topic was, what is your superpower? Right from the start, you were very buoyant. You were happy. You had a smile from the very start. You were confident enough, and you didn't only tell one superpower, but three instead. You listed them as cute. You have a great smile, which we indeed saw. And you can scare the shit out of other students by looking at them. There is a recommendation. The word I used, which is shit. We don't use this kind of language in our Toastmasters. So that's just one recommendation there. Overall, your speech was great. So yeah, next up is guest Yashvi. The topic was why to study when most of the students are school dropouts. So it was a great topic. And if I were to deliver a speech, I would have fumbled and I wouldn't know what to speak. But hats off to you. You were right there from the start, and you also attached a personal story which helps the audience to connect more, and that's a really good thing. You also provided us the moral of your story, the learning which you got, which is you don't become big by studying, you become big by taking rest. I guess that was the last part. Your voice cracked a bit, but that's not a problem. Overall, your speech was really great, and I loved it. Moving on to Toastmaster Hriday. So we all know he's a seasoned speaker, and his topic was EQ is more important than IQ. It was again a really good topic. So he started off with an introduction wherein he differentiated between EQ and IQ so that the audience could know the meaning. Personally, I didn't know the meaning of EQ, so that really helped his introduction. And he also gave a funny aspect of how you can get a boyfriend or a girlfriend with using this topic. So yeah, I could really use it if you remember. So for recommendation, I don't have any. You did a really great job, and I loved it. Yeah. Moving on to guest Dishant. So who is your role model was his topic. He started off really well with a personal touch. He had a Punjabi relative, which I guess most of us can relate to. And he didn't sound like he was speaking in public for the first time. He was really confident and happy, which is buoyant again. And he also, at the end, added a funny aspect, which is he got free biryani for helping his role model, which is again great. And yeah, overall, your speech was really good. Moving on to the last speaker, Toastmaster Akshay. Yeah. How did you enjoy weekends during lockdown? So you started off with an example, which is boxing, which is a new sport to you, which means you're flexible in order. Sorry, you're flexible in order to learn new things. You also shared an interesting story about Burj Khalifa, wherein you didn't post any pics. So it really helped the audience to connect more. And I love your speech again. Overall, I didn't find any speaker to be shaky or not confident. So yeah, that's the best part of all these speakers. And at the end, I just want to say it takes a lot of courage to come up on stage without knowing the question. But that's what the table topics section is all about. You get fun topics and you just have to be spontaneous. So overall, I'm glad that all the speakers had courage in them to speak in front of the audience. So good job, guys. Thank you, and over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rohan. That was fantastically done. Can I have now, firstly, timer, are all the evaluators qualified?
Yes, Varun, all the evaluators are qualified.
Thank you so much. Can we have the polls for all the three evaluators, that is Toastmaster Samir, Toastmaster Sukhmani, and Toastmaster Rohan Grover? The poll should be up shortly, after which I will commence my evaluation. I picked my favorite evaluator, and I would urge you all to do so as well. All right, with that out of the way, let's start with
2 more seconds. Yeah.
2 more
5.
seconds, sure.
Yeah, 2, 1.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, Varun, can we have the voting for the best table topic also alongside this?
Sure, okay, all right. Yash, are all the table topic speakers qualified?
Yes, all the table topic speakers are qualified. Toastmaster
right, can
Tanya,
we-
Toastmaster Hidayat, Toastmaster Akshay, Guest Yashvi, and Guest Dishant.
Great. All right, we already have the polls. Please choose your favorite speaker, not favorite speaker. All right, is that done? Toastmaster and Mool?
Just 1 more second. Yeah, we are done with it.
Right. All right. So I would now evaluate the evaluators in an inception-like way. So first of all, we had Toastmaster Sukhmani, who evaluated Toastmaster Raghav Mittal's speech. And first of all, I would like to point out the strength. The thing that Sukhmani is an expert at is her effortless delivery. I mean, just look at her speak when she speaks. It's in such a fluent manner, and she's always smiling, and she's always in a fluent tone. It feels very effortless to me. So I think that that's her biggest strength as an evaluator, the way she speaks and presents herself. She talked about the speaker in the third person. For example, the speaker did this, the speaker did that. She didn't refer to Raghav directly, and it showed that she was presenting a report and not having a conversation with Raghav. She pointed out some good things about Raghav's speech, and her recommendations were based around tone and body language, which are again great recommendations to give as well. 2 recommendations for you, Toastmaster Sukhmani, which are, first of all, your objectives were missing. I felt that you didn't evaluate the speaker on the objectives at some points. And another thing that I personally like to do is to leave my evaluation with a takeaway, for example, of the thing that you learned out of the speech. I think it acts like a icing on the cake. So I think that can be taken care of. And again, you did the evaluation in a CRC manner, a CRC sandwich. For those of you who don't know, CRC is commendation, recommendation, commendation. That is, you praise a bit, you recommend a bit, and then you praise a bit again. This is called a CRC sandwich. And thank you for evaluating in that manner. It gives great confidence in the speaker for his future speeches. A very interesting thing was also that you addressed the minor goof up that happened, and you didn't make a big deal out of it because it happens. So great job over there, Toastmaster Sukhmani. You are a seasoned evaluator, and you're just going up and up and up and up. So the sky's the limit for you. All the best for your future evaluations. Next up, we had the most senior evaluator that we had, Toastmaster Samir, whom I fondly call the grandfather of the club because he's been there since forever. Anyway, So Toastmaster Sameer's strength is his analytical skills. Whenever you listen to Toastmaster Sameer's evaluation, they are just like out of an IITian's mind, you know, the way he analyzes the speech and breaks it down. I would recommend every speaker to constantly send their speeches to Toastmaster Sameer because he breaks it down so well. I have done in the past, and I just love his evaluations. And his experience was showing the way he started his evaluation and kept the objectives in mind, which is the best thing to do. Did not go here or there, just stick to the objectives. He told us a lot of good things about Nitika's speech, which is again great. And his recommendations was very subtle. He gave his own examples and also gave a few hard recommendations as well. So a mix of both. Again, excellently done. I think the CRC approach was missing from his speech, the only recommendation I have. And I think that's due to because of the time. I think he was really explaining himself, and he just wanted best for Nitika, and he was explaining it really, really well. But I think he somewhere lost track of time, which happens to the best of us as well. And it was just an abrupt ending. So again, that can be taken care of, and I know that I'll be taken care of in the future speeches. So great job done over there, Sameer. Lots to learn from you. I'll be surely rewinding the YouTube video and watching your evaluation. And next up, we had a young evaluator, Toastmaster Rohan Grover. Again, very young in his evaluation journey, I believe, and his strength is his good structure that he follows during the evaluation and the takeaways that he gave towards the very end. I think that's your biggest strength, Rohan. You told the strength of speakers. You connected very well when you were on the stage. My eyes were glued to you. I didn't even write anything. So that's a great thing to do. You had some great points in your arsenal. And my recommendation to you would be there's always some scope for improvements. Whenever you're talking about the speaker, you can always suggest them. If you don't tell them either online or offline, I have done this in the past that sometimes I don't recommend a speaker online. I go offline and recommend them. But if you do that practice, great, but always recommend to someone, because as our parents say, there's always scope for improvement. So I think you should keep that in mind. And whenever next up you evaluate someone, just recommend something, because you will find something. No one is perfect. That's what I feel. So with that, I think I would conclude the evaluations of the evaluators. Next up, we'll be moving to our leadership role players who will be presenting their reports. So first up, I would like to call Toastmaster Yash Jain with his report of timer. Toastmaster Yash, over to you.
It's just a second. So today I'm very happy to say that no one is disqualified till now. And today in the green card, we had Toastmaster Hidey and Akshay, and they followed this very favorite line of mine, Bilkul risk nahi lene ka. And followed by, we had the red card. All those speakers who won the red card are guest Dishant, Toastmaster Nitika, Toastmaster Astha, Toastmaster Sukhmani, Toastmaster Sameer, Toastmaster Anmol, and Toastmaster Rohan. Now I am very proud of them because they know that they are the Don, and Don ko pagadna mushkil hi nahi, namumkin hai. Now, finally, we had the yellow card speakers, that is Toastmaster Raghav, Toastmaster Tanya, and Yashvi. And I am very thankful to them that they did what they were asked to. Bhai ne bola hai karne ka, matlab karne ka. Thank you. Back to G.
Wow, that was a nice bit of reporting from you, Toastmaster Yash. Again, I would present my opinions or my report on the leadership role players towards the very end, so that my opinion again doesn't bias yours. Next up, we have Toastmaster Anmol, who was the Grimanian for the day. Toastmaster Anmol, over to you.
Very good evening once again. So yeah, beginning with my report for the Grimanian, I would say the word for the day, that is buoyant, was used 3 times. And the context in which the word for the day, that is buoyant, was used was referring to a speaker, such as a happy and a confident one, which is a very, very good usage and a very positive usage for the same. Now, coming to some of the aspects which need a bit of nitty-gritties and a bit of improvement on their part. So there was this story which was being told about a boy from Chhattisgarh who was singing that famous meme song. So it was said, the boy who sung this song from Chhattisgarh. I would say a boy from Chhattisgarh who sung this song, because when you place the prepositions next to the subject, it tells more about the origins of the subject. Now, if you do it at the end, it would tell you about how he can be from Chhattisgarh, or he just went there to sing it from Chhattisgarh. Another example, I can scare the dash out of students. I wouldn't comment on the unparliamentary word for it. I would just say you can use a word of a higher degree in this sense. I could petrify the students. For example, if you use petrify in place of I can scare the shit out of students, you can go to that higher degree without being using that word which is not used on this path. So just a crisp report. Thank you so much, and we'll evaluate.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anmol. That was a quick report indeed. Thank you. Next up, we'll have Toastmaster Shubham, who's the account of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varun. So today I have categorized my report into more than one more than two and more than three and repetition and long pauses. So people who use more than one words: Toastmaster Swadhin, Toastmaster Nitika, Toastmaster Tanya, Toastmaster Sukmani, Toastmaster Samir, and Toastmaster Hriday. More than two and Toastmaster Swadhin, Toastmaster Varun, Toastmaster Rohan. More than three Toastmaster Akshay, Toastmaster Dishant, Vimika, and Raghav. More than two repetition: Toastmaster Swadhin, Toastmaster Raghav, Toastmaster Dishant, Toastmaster Varun. One long pause: Toastmaster Raghav, Toastmaster Nitika, Toastmaster Yashvi, and Toastmaster Akshay. Now, when I joined Toastmasters, my and repetitions were more than 10 plus. But I always ask my mentors how I can improve every time. So from 10, I got 6, then 6, then 4. And then my are now constant, and I'm working on it. So I want to give some 3 tips which I got from my mentors. Count 3, 2, 1 when you are speaking, so that your will be replaced by the short pauses. Second, breathe in and out for 30 seconds before speaking. Third, if you're doing anything, just confident. If you're confident, then definitely you will do wonders. And fourth, speak your heart out, and you will definitely do wonders. Over to you, Toastmaster Varun.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Shubham. Now we have the listener of the day, who's Toastmaster Himanshu Ahuja.
Varun, we don't have a listener today.
All right, my bad. I saw it on the agenda. Okay, moving on. I think that's it. Toastmaster Nitika and Mol. I think that's all the leadership role players.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm mistaken. All right. Thank you. So that concludes the list of the reports of the leadership role players. And can we have a quick vote for the best leadership role player? We have Toastmaster, we have Joke Master Astha, Timer Yash, Grammarian Anmol, and our counter Shubham.
I wasn't qualified, so I deleted my name. Yeah.
All right.
Just 3 more seconds.
Sure.
And yes, we are done.
Great. So first of all, let's talk about Joke Master today, Astha Kataria. Astha, it was one of the most interactive sessions to Joke Master sessions that I have seen in my Toastmasters span of meetings. Very well done. A series of rip-tickling jokes. It was again very, very beautifully done. Maybe you can ask some people to some jokes beforehand. You can plant your audience so that it becomes a bit more humorous. But again, it was very well done. I loved the way you presented it. It was I was taken aback. I thought that, wow, what's happening? I couldn't get it for 5-10 seconds. And then it was a really great job on your part. A little bit more laughter from your end, a fake laughter like Navjot Singh Sidhu does usually, can do a bit well. It will make us laugh as well. So that's sort of the only recommendation that I have for you. Just some fake laughter and some planted audience who make some fun out of it. Anyway, great job done overall. Kudos to you. Next up, we had Toastmaster Yash Jain, who did a great job in presenting his analogy at the beginning. I don't know what's up with Toastmasters these days. They're using the technology so well. I can't even imagine sharing my screen and they are over there presenting some presentation, some graphs, and he wonderfully told that how if you're in the yellow zone, then that's the perfect amount, otherwise you lose the attention. And even in his report, he had these memes. And I have a small recommendation for you regarding the use of Hindi in your memes. Again, it's a bummer, but I'll talk about uses of Hindi more towards the very end of my evaluation. So yeah, again, very creative, loved it, great job. Next up, we had grammarian who was Toastmaster Anmol. He very elegantly explained the word of the day, buoyant, which was sadly not used enough. And I would again point it out that the success of your role depends on how many times your word is used. So it was used just 3 times. So I think maybe a better word, a word that is more can be used a little bit more effortlessly, can be included from the next time. But again, you kept the report short yet exceeded the time. Anyway, the way you speak and the way you present is mesmerizing. Just take care of the time and the word you're presenting, and you'll be golden. Thank you for pointing out the uses of grammars as well. So there you go. That was grammarian and more. Then we had our counter Shubham. Shubham gave a real world example of, he narrated two sentences and picked the better one. Again, great thing to do, very relatable. A great job in the reports as well, kept it simple. And also the best thing was that he gave some tips to how to reduce your R's and Ums in his report, which is fantastic to do. Not only tell the problem, but how you can solve the problem. Great job, Toastmaster Shubham. So yeah, I think that is it regarding the leadership role players. Now I would move on to the, before I move on to the evaluation of the role players, that is Toastmaster Swadhin and Toastmaster Vimika, I would like for you all to cast the vote for the best role player of the day, for which the nominations are Toastmaster Swadhin, who was the TMOD. Then we had Toastmaster Vimika and myself. Right.
Just 5 more seconds. 5,
Sure.
4, 3, 2, and 1. We are done.
Great. Let's start with Toastmaster today, Toastmaster Swadhin. Now, sports is something that is very close to my heart, and Swadhin, you get brownie points for just choosing this theme of the day. Such a beautiful theme, sports, and so much could be done from it. And he did some great stuff out of it as well. He talked about his childhood, how he used to be a little boy and play, and then he talked to myself as well as Rohan about football, about cricket, questioning, engaging. And it was just, I had a great time. I had a blast. Again, welcome back, Toastmasters Swadhin. You were so effortless when you were speaking as well. And it's after a long time I'm seeing you back, and it's great to have you back as well. So kudos to you as well. I have just one recommendation for you, and that is to interact with audience a little bit more. You just interacted with myself and Rohan. Maybe you could have pulled in more people as well. That ties the audience together, that ties the room at the very start of the meeting. So we all would have been in and would have been listening to you. So that's just one small recommendation from me, that interact with as much people as possible. I love to speak about Manchester United with a passion. I loved it personally, but had you spread it across the whole 5-10 people, all these questions, and that would have been just the perfect ending to your role. A very nice game played as well. And then we had Toastmaster Vimika, table topic master, Toastmaster Vimika. She kept it very simple, really interesting topics. I don't have much to add to it. That's all you can ask for from a table topic evaluator, is to have some really interesting topics, which makes it interesting as well as easy for the table topic speakers who are coming on the stage to speak. So she did both of them, and that was a great job done. Only one recommendation I have is that you have a lot of time, Toastmaster Vimika, when you come on the stage. So maybe you can bring up a story or a theme associated with your table topics, which again ties up people and blends in with the flow of the meet. So that would be my only recommendation that I have for you. Now, if I move on to the start of the meeting, then we had Toastmaster Nivedita, who was a sergeant at arms. Again, very effortless while she was speaking. I think it's my favorite word these days to use, effortless. But again, that's what I find people doing. She asked some peppy questions and a very interesting and engaging start. I'm attending the meeting after a long time, and I was all in. So a great job done over there, Toastmaster Nivedita. Really love the way you started the meet. And now I have a bit of critical points. again, I said that I love giving recommendations, and this is for the club as a whole of what I observed in the meeting going wrong or could be done better. So the first one was that the president asked if the timer, president asked the Toastmaster today to, he interrupted rather while asking that all the speakers are qualified or not, which the Toastmaster can be taken care of. A gentle reminder or a push can be given to do the same. But again, it's up to the opinions of people. I personally thought that maybe just a nudge could have been reminded Swadhin to ask if all the role players are qualified or not. Maybe it breaks the flow. Maybe it feels that someone's on the stage before someone has really exited it. So I know we don't have an actual stage, but again, that my point being that you can just nudge in a word or two, and the person who's on the virtual stage can take care of the rest of the business. So that's my recommendation. First of all, the second one was the time. I found out that Toastmaster today ended his section at 7:45, and at 7:45, according to the agenda, we should have started with evaluations. So what that essentially does is it really puts some pressure on the table topic master, the general evaluator, and everyone that has to come next, because we all can see the time and we see that we are getting late. So I think the time aspect can be taken care of better. People can be more accountable themselves and just see that, oh, we have to hurry now, or oh, we have to just skip something that we are speaking because of the paucity of the time. So these two things and the third one was that there was a lot of Hindi being used today, which I'm all in for, which truly I'm all in for. That's how we express honestly. But we need to realize that India is a country where we have not many Hindi speakers. We do think that there are a lot of Hindi speakers, but we are all united, sadly enough, by a common language that is English that we are using now. Even if you're providing, Toastmaster mandate states that if you're using Hindi, then provide an English translation. Because, for example, if someone from a different country or someone from a different state is attending our meeting and he or she doesn't know English, Hindi, sorry, it will be very, he or she would completely lose the context of what you're speaking. So whether it be anything, just please provide a translation for it. I know the translations are not as fun and they take the charm out of it, but that's the sad reality that we have at Toastmasters. We are a global platform, and we encourage for all of us to stay involved. And those were my three pieces of a little harsh recommendations, I would call it, but again, a great job done by the team. Pulling off such meetings Tuesday in and Tuesday out is very hard job to do, but I think together we can obviously improve and shoot for the stars. The club is in great hands with the quality of speakers that I see, be it the evaluators, be it the speakers, be it the guests that are coming. Oh my God, so many guests I saw today. It's a breath of fresh air as well. And I would like to congratulate the EC and the members who are doing a phenomenal job. And with that, sadly, we don't have anyone to evaluate me. That's the loophole in the Toastmaster mandate. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for being a lovely audience. I would now like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster President, Toastmaster Anmol.
Thank you. A big thank you to our past president and our maestro, general evaluator, Toastmaster Varun Garg. With all these bits and pieces of positivities and negativities, we make our meeting go ahead. Now, without further ado, let me announce the name of the winners, and yes, who won today. So who do you think won the best speaker? We had Toastmaster Nitika, we had Toastmaster Raghav Mittal. Who do you think? Any guesses, or you are tired just to voice out any opinions? So tired right now. Everyone's on mute. Rohan, Samir, Dakshesh, Rashmi,
Alexa,
Hriday, Yash.
play Jaane Meri Jaane Man.
No more Jaane Meri Jaane Man. You can keep that to your personal life. Yeah, the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Nitika. The best table topic speaker. Who do you think won it? We had Toastmaster Akshay, we had Hriday, we had Tanya, we had guest Yashvi, we had guest Daksh. Who do you think won that?
Hriday?
Yashvi, Daksh,
Tanya,
Voice of the people, voice of the God, the mentor himself, Toastmaster Hriday Thakur. Hriday has that perfect recipe of winning in every meeting. Kudos to him for that. Next up, what? Next up, we have the best leadership role player. Unfortunately, I got disqualified. We had Astha Kataria, the joke master, Shubham Pasricha as the R counter, and Toastmaster Yash Jain as the timer. Who do you think won that?
Asta, Shubham, Yash.
Astha.
Asta Shubham Yash in that order.
Astha, Shubham, yes.
Oh,
No
yeah,
more guesses.
anyone.
Akib, you won't say a thing. You can also make a guess, buddy. Okay.
I think timer.
Yeah, Akib is right. It is the timer, Toastmaster Yash Jain. Next up, we had the best evaluator. Who do you think won that? We had Toastmaster Sukhmani, Toastmaster Rohan Grover, the debutant, and Toastmaster evaluator, Toastmaster Sameer Agarwal, the grandfather and the legend of evaluation at Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. Who do you think won that?
Yes, Sameer. Toastmaster Sameer.
Okay, so I'll go with the first guess. It is Toastmaster
Rohan.
Sameer Agarwal. I didn't have that much patience, guys. It's long time. Make quick guesses. So yeah, last but not the least, the best role player. We had one from the Red House, that is Toastmaster Swadhin Gogoi, with all his sporting knowledge. We had Toastmaster Vimika Valecha giving out topics in an extempore, and last but not the least, the maestro, as I call him himself, Toastmaster Varun Garg. Who do you think won that?
I think general evaluator.
Varun.
Vimika.
Varun.
Swadhin.
All hail Red House. Red House is on fire. Toastmaster Varun Garg won the best role player. So before we can take a quick piece of feedback from our guests, we have Dishant, we have Yashvi, we have Dakshesh, we have Rahul. Guys, I'm not asking you to leave, can you give that one piece of feedback or that one word which you want to describe this meeting in? Dishant? Yashvi, can we have you, or guest Bhavya, can we have you guys?
I think it was on point. Everything was, I mean, it was very different from what meetings I attend in other clubs. So I think a lot of club members can attend at other clubs to get a fair idea. So I would recommend other club members I know to attend at TMND to get to know the maturity of the club. And yeah, there's a big milestone coming up, so speaks a lot about the club and the maturity with which the club operates.
Thank you so much, Dishant. It means a lot to us personally. Guest Bhavya. Bhavya, can you unmute yourself and give a quick piece of feedback?
It was a new experience for me, and I loved the way how the meeting was conducted, and yeah, it was amazing.
Thank you so much, Bhavya. Guest Rahul Ahuja, would you say something?
Yeah, so it was the first time for me attending a Toastmasters meeting, and it seems to be a place that I'll love to be back, and that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Guest Dakshesh and guest Pooja.
Yes, it was quite an experience today. It was phenomenal, to be honest, especially the general instructor, Mr. Varun. A lot of
General
useful...
instructor. It's the general evaluator.
Oh,
Instructor
sorry, pardon me.
secrets.
Evaluator. I got so lost and so much information for today.
Yeah, you were mesmerized by Varun's evaluation. Nice. Everyone is. Yeah, Pooja ma'am, can you share your experience with us? How did you feel about it? Yeah, I could see something. Okay. Okay. With this and a very special announcement coming up. Yeah, I think Yash is saying her mic is not connected. Okay. So yeah, we have a very special outdoor meet coming up this Sunday at Lodi Garden. So it would be great if you can join us for the same. More information for the same would be out on our social media handles. It is on Sunday. Hope you come there and we'll have a fun time over there, because a fun, pleasant time is what we are all in dire need of. So I would be plain and simple. It's fun time. Let's interact. Let's meet each other, because none can supersede the relevance of an interpersonal communication in a physical world. And for other information, please follow us on our social media handles such as Instagram, such as YouTube, such as Facebook, LinkedIn, and all of them. With this, on this positive note, I end the 996 meeting of the iconic and the legendary Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Good night. Bye.
Thank you guys. Good night.